Howdy. How's everybody out there in YouTube land today? I hope this finds you well. Looks like we got a pretty good... Ooh, let's kill that. We don't need that going. I don't need to hear myself twice. Well, we got a house full of people here. I'll go down through the list and welcome everybody. We got Banky Sharma in the house. We got Awesome Wood Things is Matt Haas. He's on the panel this evening. We got Jim Dockrell in the house. We got Odessa Woodworking and Maker Shop. That's Al's in the house. Good to have you here. Katie Dodson's in the house. Welcome. Dave Hart, Jim Bashirs, Dennis Goodson, and TCTV's in the house. Hey, TC. Let's see. Get on down the list a little bit further here. Everybody's having a nice conversation. We got Paul from Paul's Messy Workshop is in the house. Jimbo 5312 is in the house. And scroll down a little bit more. Looks like Ghost Mafia has shown up. Good to have you in there this evening. We got Matt Haas on the panel, and he's going to be talking to you about this. I got things going off in all different directions here. He's going to be talking to you this evening about the YouTube creator and how that all works out with these analytics and what numbers you need to pay attention to and all. And so we're going to be having a lot of discussion about this evening. Jim says that he sees a reflection of dirty pictures I'm looking at in the glasses. Well, that's just my screen here. I'm just looking back at myself, and well, you see what I see. So we'll go ahead and put Matt up here on the screen. And Matt, go ahead and talk to us a little bit about this Creator Studio thing and what we need to know.
Excellent. Oh, I'm so excited to be on the BrendaG's design channels. Hello, everybody. All right. Well, yes, I'm going to talk about YouTube analytics and the Studio Beta. That's the replacement to the Creator Studio. So if you publish videos on YouTube, you are familiar with the Creator Studio. They're building another one called Studio Beta, and it's missing some features, but it's got some awesome pieces to it. So awesome that if you're not using it, you should be. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. Well, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Matt. I have a channel called Awesome Wood Things. Not surprisingly, I make things out of wood that are awesome in my shop, but I'm also a technology guru. I've been in tech my whole life, and I've been in the art side of things. I was doing textbook illustrations, so I'm an artist. I went to design school. I have that background, so I write code. You know, I'm on the W3C, the World Wide Web Consortium. You know, the internet. Anyway. I love technology. I love YouTube, and I love big tech companies. I follow the big tech company news, the world news, just because I think it's interesting. You know, the Apples, the Microsofts, the Google, what they're doing, their initiatives, the reasons why they do what they do. I love it. And when I get into a platform like YouTube or Facebook or whatever, I go all in. I learned all the little ins and outs, and I just throw myself into it. It's just my nature. So one of the things I do is I follow all the YouTube news as well. And you know, what features are coming out and the strategies you need to do. There's a lot to it, and there's a lot to grow your channel. And YouTube analytics are a big piece about growing your channel. If you have questions along the way, drop them in the chat, and Brenda will bounce them to me as they come up. But I'm going to start talking about analytics and growing your channel. Now, in addition to analytics, you need a few things. First of all, it's a long game. YouTube is a long game. And so it's not just what you do on one video, it's what you do on multiple videos after. So you've got to publish regularly, and you need a catalog. And just because the numbers look bad now, over time, they may get much better. Also, content's king. You know, we're not going to talk about production quality, lights and camera and sound, but you know, every video you make should be a little bit better than the next, either in your on-screen presence or the background that you have, the lighting, just, you don't need expensive gear. You do not need expensive gear, but your presence and, is everything stable? The lighting, just try and make, if your 100th video is the same as your 75th, not doing it right. And then it's all about the audience. Think about connecting with an audience and growing an audience. It's not about the one-hit wonder. Yes, viral videos are fun, but that's not how you build a business or a successful YouTube channel. And then go niche. You want niche. Don't do broad topics. Niche is what you want. And so with that, let's talk about analytics. There's a lot of analytics, and two of them, just two, are the ones you need to pay attention to because they have the biggest bang for your buck. Now, everything I say is going to be important, but the two of them are really going to shoot you off into the stratosphere. So let's jump into this, shall we? I will share my screen. Okay, I think you're seeing my screen. So this is the Creator Studio. So if you're in YouTube, under your little Creator Studio, that's how you get to here. Okay. This is the world of 1995, folks. Let's enter the future. To go in the future, click this link right here, YouTube Studio Beta. Screen will refresh, and then this is what you want. So this is the dashboard of Studio. That's what it's just going to be called, Studio. It was Creator Studio. Now it's just Studio. And since it's in beta, they got the little beta thing there. So let's look at the dashboard. There's a couple cards here. We'll start all the way on the right. This is just miscellaneous information. How many subscribers you have, total watch time for the increment. That's defaults. This is the 28 days. So in the last 28 days, this is how much time in minutes people have spent consuming my content. Views, that's just someone clicked it to start the video. Boom, that's a view. And then some top videos. This is the news card, rifle back and forth, different news snippets. If you're not subscribed to the Creator channel, get subscribed. They now have just two channels, Creator Insider, and then they have another one. So they've collapsed everything. Whatever YouTube does, all of their public YouTube channels, they have several Twitter accounts. Follow all of them. It's free. Who doesn't love free? And it's useful. You'll get to know if there's a bug, if there's a problem they're trying to solve. It's helpful. Okay. This card here doesn't look awesome, but it's awesome. All right. It is your latest video, and it's comparing it to several different ways, and it's all normalized. So let's look at previous video. Okay, so now it's taking this video and comparing it to the previous video. However, the previous video was published much more back in time than 9 days, 43 minutes. It's only analyzing it on the previous video 9 days and 43 minutes. Oh my gosh. I ran out of batteries on my mouse. That's not good. Okay. So this is normalized. This is what you want. So compared to my previous video, how it existed 9 days, 43 minutes from the previous video, these are my stats. And you can go previous 3 videos, see how they're changing. This is new, your typical performance. Very, very good. Now watch this. You hover over this bold thing. This thing flies out. This shows you where on the ranking you are. So this video is number 9 out of my last 10. All of these 10 are being considered as they existed 9 days, 43 minutes. Isn't that cool? This is a real-time, a real-world comparison of your videos. Before, you could only compare it to the stats as they were. The 10th video could be a month old, and your new video could be 2 days old. that's not apples to apples. That's apples to apples, and it's awesome. So really, you know, you land on the dashboard, boom, pay attention to your last video, and then you'll be ready to rock. Down the list here, now I have a real small screen, so this scrolls. This is your video list. So you have a video. This should be familiar. I like it because it's thin. They're not as thick, not as deep, these columns, but it just presents all of your information here. I have a lot of unlisted stuff and just a, you know, public here and there. And then this is analytics. So you click here. Now this is channel-wide analytics, channel-wide. You can tell you're channel-wide because, well, you've just got the logo up here. This is going to change if you're not channel-wide. So I gotta switch my pointing devices here. What a time to run out of batteries, hey?
It's called Murphy's Law.
Yeah, I'm using my Wacom tablet. So okay, so here these are tabs. You know, these will change, and then each tab has sub tabs. So we're going to be going into some of these, but I don't want to start here. Let's go back to here and pick a video. So if you click into here and go to its analytics. So see now at the top, this is targeting a single video. That's what I want. Okay, so here's my metrics for that single video. I like that. So you want to go back, click the back button, and you know we're getting to it here. So let's go into this one. Now this was just a 1 minute or so long video. It was just a teaser. It didn't do very well. But let's take a look at it here. So here's my watch time over the last 28 days. You want to switch it? You can just switch it here if you want. I'll keep last 28 days. How many views? How many subscribers? Estimated. I didn't really turn on any ads. I did just a few. I think I did like the little pop-up ad because it was a teaser. I didn't want to make people watch a 6-second skippable thing just to watch a minute. I don't play that. And then you'll see different cards here. This is the overview. All of these cards appear deeper down in here, but these put kind of the best ones here. This is the one I like, reach viewers. Okay. So if you scroll down, look at this inverted triangle here. This inverted triangle is where you want to spend your time. And remember, I'm targeting a single video here. But this is what you want. Let's take a look at this inverted triangle. Impressions. What's an impression? An impression is every time YouTube displays your video on the interface. Okay, so you're scrolling around YouTube and you're on the you're looking at a single video on the videos page. Along the side are a whole bunch of little videos. Well, if your video appears there, that's an impression. And an impression only counts if the thumbnail is fully on the screen. Like if this is the top of your screen and your video is like only halfway shown, it doesn't count. Only when it drops on the screen the whole way will it count as an impression. So it's every time someone sees your video on the interface, that counts as an impression. And again, this is for the last 28 days. So this was shown to people almost 4,000 times. Click-through rate. Click-through rate is the percentage of times people have clicked on the videos that they were shown. So 2.4% of the time, someone clicked that thumbnail. That's huge. Click-through rate is one of the two pieces of analytics you want to pay attention to. Remember I said there were two? That's one of the two. That's big time. That's what Google wants. Google wants to show people thumbnails, and they want them to click on the thumbnails. It's not that difficult to understand. Views is, you know, how many views, how many times people clicked it and started watching. Doesn't mean they've completed it. Down here is the average view duration. This is the number two thing that you want to pay attention to. Number two. Two most important thing: click-through rate, view duration, or watch time on a particular video. And again, put yourself in Google's shoes. What do they want? They want to show videos to people, videos that people will click on. And then once they click on them, they want them to watch the video, not half the video, all of the video. If you focus on your click-through rate and get that high, and getting people to watch all of your content, not some, but all, you will make bank. That is the key to YouTube, because that's what they want. And they say they want it. They are very transparent about what they want. They also don't like when you jump off YouTube.
We have a question in the audience. Jim Brashear says, how can we get the view duration up?
Excellent question. I will handle that question right now. Okay. So let's go to, I know it's on the overview page right here, audience retention. Now, again, this is just my Mario Whirligig sneak peek video. I can click this card. Card takes full screen. Here is the percentage of times people were watching. So at the 2-second mark, 94.1% of the people were watching this. And if you play this, you can see what I was saying and what I was doing. Like right here, it starts to taper off. Well, you can kind of tell it's winding down, so people are jumping off. How you can tell, Jim? You can use this graph and analyze your video and see what you did on screen and what was happening at that time, and then correct it. Like maybe this graphic I put on screen scared people, or if you do this enough times on your content, you will learn what your audience is liking. Now, what you want to do is you want to keep this above 50%. So 50% is probably right here where I'm hovering. And look at this. I got almost all the way to the end above 50%. Like right there, it starts to drop. 4 seconds from ending, it goes below 50. That's good. You do not want, you want to try and keep that above 50%. And if you go back to reach viewers and then scroll down, here's the same thing. This is what we were just looking at. You want this, the click-through rate, a good click-through rate, 2.4, not good click-through rate. You want it to be about 7 or 8%. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but think about it. Do you really expect YouTube to show your thumbnail? Say they show it 1,000 times. Do you expect 1,000 people to click every time they show your thumbnail on the interface? You expect someone to click? No, it'll never be 100%. 8 is good. 9 is good. 10, 11, 12. That's sort of the ceiling right there. I mean, it can go higher, but if you get that around 8, 9, 10, 11, 12% and above 50% retention, or average view duration on a particular video, they will start to do good things. What are the good things YouTube's going to do? It's kind of a hierarchy. Search. YouTube has a search box. It is the second largest search engine on the planet. Google.com is the first. YouTube.com is the second largest search engine. So they'll start pushing your stuff when people search for your keyword terms. Boom. That's search. Second is suggested. So suggested is you're on a video watch page. You have all these little videos on the side rail. That's suggest. They'll put you there and other places. And recommended. When you go to just youtube.com, the little home button, they see like a couple cards of recommended. They could put you there. When your video is done playing, it sprinkles all these little videos on top of the player screen. That could be suggested as well. So it's search, suggested, and then the holy grail, front page. So if you're logged out of YouTube, you show up on the front page. I think Casey Neistat has maybe 2 videos on the front. It's very hard to do, but that's what. And how do you do it? Click-through rate, average view duration. That's it. That's money right there, and you got to focus on that every time. Go back into analytics. Any other questions before we keep rocking? Is this good? Is this good information? I'm thinking about doing consulting where people will say, Matt, here's my YouTube channel. Answer a few questions about your goals, and I will do a complete review of YouTube and give you advice in 3 areas. Not just YouTube advice, everything we're covering now. I can do a complete report that says, here's what you did, here's what you should do, and here's why you should do it. All YouTube design review. Since I have a design degree, I can do a complete, analysis of your branding and stuff like that, and then a business review, what you're doing off YouTube as well. So I'm thinking about doing. If anyone's interested in that, let me know. Facebook.com/Matt Haas, MATTHAAS, or Matt@awesomewoodthings.com. Send me an email. And I'm thinking about doing. Should I do this? Should I do a live show where I analyze one particular YouTuber's channel? I'm thinking about doing that as well. If that's something you might be interested in, let me know. Let me know that as well. Okay, let's start talking about more analytics. Yeah. Okay, so reach viewers. I love how they broke this down. Interest viewers. Okay, so here's your watch time. So this is the same card. This is the same card that was on the overview, this audience retention, because it's, what you do to interest your viewers. Likes versus dislikes, end screen element click rate. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in here. And, this is, a lot of this is the 80-20 rule. 20% of the work yields 80% of the benefit. Well, that's these two. You put your time in this, it's going to yield huge results. Everything else I say is good and will move the needle a little bit. And you should do it, but make no mistakes. You want people clicking on your stuff who see your stuff, and you want people watching your stuff. If your videos get boring halfway through, or you're not cutting out the fluff, or the end of your video is all advertisements about marketing stuff, no. Not going to work. They're going to jump off. So you could have that. Well, let's talk about it. How do you get click-through rate? What causes people to click on your video? Anyone want to take a guess?
Well, I can take a guess. First of all, I would say that you better have an attractive thumbnail, and you better have a title on it that makes people... You got
it right there. Those 2 things, thumbnails and titles. As far as metadata goes, I consider that because they're metadata, thumbnails and titles, critical. You got to nail your thumbnail, and it's got to be truthful. Like, you don't want to fib and clickbait people into clicking your thumbnail. If you do that, your click-through rate's going to be really high, but your audience retention's going to be low, and that's not a go. You need both. You need them both up there. So don't cheat on your thumbnail. Don't put, sexy people on there if there's no sexy people in your video. Don't flash it up with unnecessary stuff. And, it's an art form. This isn't how to make a great thumbnail, but you know, do you have the right amount of elements on there? Does it look good small? You know, are the colors, you know, do the colors make sense? You know, do you have just the right amount of text in your thumbnails? You don't want to overdo it. And there's a lot of these metrics that that you can do. And then your title. You got to nail your title. What makes a good title? Well, the keyword phrase should be the first part, and then some sort of emotional word should be the second part. 5, 6, 7 words, maybe. Don't go crazy. Like here, I'll show you a good title that I was happy with. Because you know, I'm eating my own dog food here, people. I take my own advice. So let's go back to let's get out of this individual video, and we'll go back to my list. It's on page 2 of 2, I think. Not 2 of 2, but page 2 of many. Where are we at here? Let me find this one. This this title is inexpensive router table. That's my keyword. Safe and accurate. That's my emotion, because, and it's DIY, indicating you can build it. So this is a video on how to build this thing. And this is the emotional thing, why you want to build it. Do you want to build tools that are not safe? Of course not. Do you want to build tools that are not accurate? Of course. So safe and accurate. Yeah, I want to build this tool, and I want it to be safe and accurate. That's a good title. And then the thumbnail. Let's look at the thumbnail. So these were the ones that were suggested, and this is the thumbnail I came up with. You know, I blurred the background. I put a glowing thing, or you know, just highlighting the item on it. I have my branding on there, just a few words. Good. And I like this color because it's not part of the interface.
What did you use to make that thumbnail?
Adobe Photoshop.
Okay.
But yeah, so titles. Now, should you do good descriptions? Of course you should do good descriptions. They're not as important as titles and thumbnails. They're still important, but not as important. So titles and thumbnails, that's the 80-20 rule. You know, it's going to yield 80% benefit, but this will yield benefit too. A good description has what the video up front. So this is nothing. This isn't go to my website up front. The first couple sentences are all about the video, because YouTube wants to know what your video is about. They need words to do that. And then I put my marketing stuff in the bottom. And then tags. Are tags important? Yes. Are they as important as you think? Probably not. But, and this is all legit. Like, I'm not, you know, putting anything that isn't accurate here. It's all describing the videos. The more you play by the rules, the better YouTube will reward you. Because if this isn't accurate, people are not going to give you the watch time. Like, oh, I thought it was this, and then they're not going to watch. Yeah, so that's, and then look at these analytics. This thing's popping. How old is this? I published this a while ago. Yeah, last 28 days, almost 30,000 watch minutes. And this latest activity, this is kind of cool. This little throbbing beacon here. So it updates real time. And anytime you see a little down arrow, click it, because you can change those intervals. Now this is just the last hour. So I had 2 views. When was that? Between 9:23 and 9:24. Cool. So that's still cranking. And look at this. The audience retention. I am holding that audience 65, 60, 50, all the way till the end. And what are they doing? Are they rewarding me for this? Heck yes, they are.
We got a couple questions out in the audience. Dana wants to know, why are there green numbers next to your tags?
Okay.
And Ruby wants to know, is it better to have low number and long duration versus high number and short duration?
Oh, good questions. Okay. There are numbers next to my tags because I use a third-party plugin called TubeBuddy, and TubeBuddy is indicating how what do you call it? How prominent that keyword, how much that keyword's helping me on a scale from 1 to 100. So,
and we talked about TubeBuddy last week on my Wednesday night live stream, so you can go back and watch that video, and it'll explain more about TubeBuddy for you.
And then as far as how long your video is and how much watch time you're ranking on a particular video, the answer is it doesn't matter how long your video is. It could be a 5-minute video. It could be, now there are some things where YouTube was more favoring 10-minute or longer videos. They kind of liked that. There was some chatter going around there. But the reality is you can have a short video or you can have a long video. Both examples, you need them watching all the way to the end. That's all you got to pay attention to. When it comes right down to it, YouTube will push a video to someone if you've watched it the whole way through. You don't want to make your videos longer just to fill the time in hopes that they're going to treat your video better. Don't do it, because your audience is smart. People are smart. I know sometimes people can seem like they're not smart. They're smart. If you're putting fluff in, they're going to sense it. They're going to drop off, and you're not going to have your thing above 50%. And
you have
just
to be able to hold their interest.
Yeah, you got to hold their interest. So, and I cut everything out. If it's not critical, it's out, because I'm an impatient person. I don't want to sit through it. So I know my audience won't either, and that's fine. That video that's going nuts. Let's look at how long that is. I think it's 6 minutes. Let me try. Go back here. Duration. First, I got to find it. There we go.
6 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yeah, 6 minutes, 45 seconds. So, I mean, that is what it is. You know, I didn't want to make it. I didn't want to make it longer. I just didn't. So let's look at a few more things here. Oh, this is just more of the interface. So this is your comments. So this should be familiar to you. These are all of your comments across all your videos. You can interact with them here. This just tells you what's missing. So you can't manage playlists, you can't do live stream. You know, all this stuff is not in the studio beta. But do not use all of these things that aren't here as a reason not to go here, because you've got your inverted triangle of awesomeness. To go back, here's your little button down here. This is to go back to the classic. And it'll ask you, oh, please tell me why you don't like, just skip it. You know, it's just a little thing. And then it'll refresh. Hello, now you're back to 1995, you know, with your video. Man, you know, just this is the old way, okay? And then to get back again, it's this studio beta button right here.
Yeah, I know, at least as far as I'm concerned, and many of the people that I know, you know, we had been hesitant to go to this beta version because we liked the old version. You know, we knew where everything was. It was comfortable. And then when it started getting pointed out to us that, hey, there's some cool stuff over there that you really need to know over on this beta. And we're like, really? Like, what's that? And then Matt said, well, okay, let me show you some of this stuff. We're like, wow, we didn't know that was over there.
Yeah, that inverted triangle is the reason to pop over there. So pop over there. You know, when you publish a video, go there and watch it, you know, because it'll show up, you know, 2 days later. It kind of starts, the metrics start to be visible. Look at it the second day, look at it the third day, look at it that week, look at it, you know, a week and a half out, and, you know, watch how it's doing, and always go through that watch time thing where you see your video and the lines moving on your graph so you can see when they're jumping off. That's how you play it. That's how you play it. Also, you've got to go get views. This is what I call, you got to go get views. Yes, YouTube is a community. It's got a lot of users and they will find your stuff, but you've got to go off YouTube to get them. You really do. You got to have your Facebook game has to be on point. Your Instagram game has to be on point. You know, if you haven't at least linked your YouTube to Twitter, where every time you post a video, it tweets on your behalf. Hello. Yeah. I do, like I said, I have a wood shop. So there's a website on how to build stuff called Instructables. It's instructions, an instruction website. Mostly it's like a step-by-step type thing. Oftentimes I will post my work on that site and they let you put your YouTube video on there, and I'm pulling metrics in from that site. Reddit. Now, Reddit has a lot of negatives, but don't let that fool you. There are eyeballs on Reddit. And if you take the time and fight through it and get familiar with these subreddits, because they all have different rules, and you figure it out, you will be rewarded with tons of views. So, you know, I know there's communities on Facebook. They're great. But you can get viewers and metrics from the community, but you know, you have to go off site to get views if you want this to take off. If you want to be successful, go off site, get views, and build that audience. Audience is what you want. Yeah, here's a fun thing to do.
One thing that I don't think that a lot of people seem to realize is when you have a video, you can go right there on that YouTube video and look right below where your screen is. And it has a share button right there next to thumbs up, thumbs down, all that. There's a share button. On that has all kinds of social media that YouTube recognizes. And all of their little icons are down there. They even have an email icon. And you can go there and promote your video or whoever's video that you happen to be watching on all that social media. I mean, they have Twitter, they have Google Plus, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Blogger, Reddit, Tumblr, and there's a couple other ones that the screen's too far away for me to recognize them. But yeah, you know, they have a whole bunch of stuff there, just places that you can go to promote your videos. You need to join those sites so that you can get your stuff on.
Is my screen targeted? Here, I'm showing what you're talking about. Yeah, here's the share Brenda's talking about. You know, you can push your stuff to other places,
even somebody else's. You know, if you're on a video and you really like it and you think other people would enjoy this too, then you share it out.
Look at, is Dig still a thing? That used to be huge. Yeah, no, take advantage of this stuff. And then see here, so here's these are all impressions. You know, this TSM Ninja, his impression just went up by 1 because YouTube showed me this, and it counted as an impression. If I click on it, it'll count as a click on the click-through rate. But I didn't click on it. So, yep. All right. So here, look at this. Here. Okay. So I'm saying you have to go off site to get it. So now I'm on the reach viewers. I scrolled down, you know, so there's this card, that card, traffic sources, external. So VK, 32.3% of the traffic in the last 28 days came from I don't even know what that is. Here's the good one. Well, that's the better one, but this is the site that I made a post about this router table on instructables.com. It's pulling that in. I even, this is so funny. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it, but there was a channel called Make It Extreme, and it's this guy out of the country. I forget what country he's in, but he has a page on his website, and he pointed to 7, 8, or 12 of my videos. He's still showing up as an external source of my traffic. Yeah, thank you. I'll take it. I was a huge fan of his too, man. You know. Anyway, I'm just like, look at that. I'm gonna have to look at what VK is. Does anyone in the chat room know what website VK is? That's crazy.
I don't recognize that one at all.
Getting a lot. Let me go to it.
And I would like to thank Dave for the super chat. Dave Gatton put $5 there in the kitty. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, super chats. I like the super chats. The only thing I won't click on is earn revenue. Believe it or not, it is against YouTube's terms of service to publicly show this page of your stats. So I will not click on earn revenue. I get kind of weird about it. But yeah, seriously, you can't hurt anything. Come through here, start recognizing what these metrics are, and look at your videos and make decisions. What's working, keep it going. What's not working, don't keep it going. There's other tips too. Playlists. Who puts their stuffs in playlists? That's important. Why is it important? Well, the reasoning is YouTube likes unique URLs. So when you have a YouTube video, it has its own play URL on its play page. A playlist is a second URL. It's got its own unique URL. They like that. Why they like a second URL? Don't worry about it. They like it. Do what YouTube likes. Put your stuff in playlists. And that's actually a huge strategy because it's not about the individual video. It's about all videos. What you want is people to come on, watch your video, and then have an easy way to watch a similar video, ideally in the same playlist. Do it. Okay. Here's a question for the chat room. Raise your hand if you go through and put closed captioning on your videos.
We've had one tell us there in the chat that VK is Russian.
Okay.
And it means in contact. It's a Russian online social media and social networking service. It's available in several languages, but is especially popular among Russian.
Make it extreme. I think he's in Russia. I don't want to say Russia because I don't want to be wrong. I think he's in Russia. So I don't know. I'm getting traffic from anyway. Thank you for that. So who puts closed captioning on there? And it's not the easiest thing to do. And it takes me about hour and a half, perfect, depending on how long the video.
Let's see. You froze up. I don't know if you can hear me, Matt, but you froze. Can anybody hear me out there? Can y'all hear me? Let's see if I'm showing up on the screen here. I seem to be showing up. There, Matt's back. There he is. We froze up for a minute, Matt.
I was on my end. It was on my end. I'm blaming.
Well,
I'm blaming.
You're blaming the aliens?
No, I'm blaming my. It said my browser crashed. I don't know why my browser crashed, but it said it did.
I'm glad you didn't get probed.
I'm on first name basis with the aliens.
The aliens got him. They didn't have him long enough to probe him.
I lost my chat. I'm not watching chat anymore. But yeah, okay. I'll do this over here. But let's go in here. My video manager. I'm going to do. The question was closed captioning. Who goes through the closed captioning and actually puts it in? I'm going to show you how to do it. So here, this is the old way, but I go to subtitles in CC. CC means closed captioning. and then it does automatic, and you can go into automatic and then hit edit. I know I went to the one that didn't say automatic. And here is where you can take the default text that they give you and retype in every chunk that goes through. It takes a lot of time, but let me tell you, this is important. Why is it important? One, because YouTube likes it. If YouTube likes it, you do it. That's the rule. Second, this is considered accessibility. So closed captioning was primarily for people who have some problem that they want to see the words because they can't hear as well, for example. So they want the text to pop up while they're watching the video. Let me tell you, accessibility isn't only for the impaired. It's also for people who aren't impaired. Think about it. You're on a subway. You want to watch a video. You don't want to bother the subway cart. You want to just read or you're maybe you work in an office with a cubicle. You don't want to blare the video audio everywhere. You just want to read the closed captioning. And YouTube will translate closed captioning into other languages. And if they know you took the time to correct it and make it perfect, they'll be more at ease, or their algorithm will be more at ease to translate it for you. So you might show up to users who don't speak the language that you speak. You could show up, for Spanish-speaking YouTubers or French-speaking YouTubers or Russian-speaking, because they want a human confirmed text to translate.
When you go, I don't know that I understand this 100%, but then, I'm a little technically challenged. But when you go to translate this, when you click on all this thing to translate it, did they automatically translate it into these other languages? Do you have to pick what languages you want to translate it to?
Okay, that's okay.
I'm stymied.
Yeah, you can force a second. You can force multiple languages, okay. But what YouTube does with it. Like, let's just say you just have the English and you nail the English translations. YouTube may, on their own, auto translate that into other languages on the fly, but they want to auto translate that. If you have corrected it first, they'll feel more comfortable. Think about it. Your video is next to your competitor's video. It's the same metrics. Let's say it's the same click-through rate. It's the same watch time. Yours has perfect closed captioning. Your competitor doesn't. Guess which one they're going to show to that Spanish-speaking user. They're going to put your video in front of that person. That's the way you got to think about it.
Okay. I mean, there's not any particular buttons or anything that you push to say, okay, I want this to go out in this or that or some other language.
There is. I'll show you. Here we go. Oh crap! Hold on. I'm still recovering from when my browser went down. I want to get the chat back because I feel lost without the chat. Just one second, folks. Talk amongst yourselves.
We love these technical issues. my shows seem to be famous for them.
I'll give you a topic: World War II and what it meant to you. Discuss.
All right, Dana says very informative information here tonight. Thanks very much. So
yeah. Okay, I'm ready.
We're learning some of them a little bit.
All right, so you target me again, and closed captioning and CC. Okay, so let's be done with.
One of them mentioned earlier that they're under review, and it seemed to be taking forever, and wondered if all this was worth it. Now, I guess that would depend on what it is exactly that you plan to accomplish with your YouTube experience, because as far as just the ad revenue is concerned, you're not going to make much, at least not in the beginning, and you have to get really huge in order to make any real money off of the ad revenue. If you're planning to try to go by super chats or PayPal donations or something of that nature, then you're going to have a lot of people subscribe to you in order to make that worthwhile. If you're going to try to go after sponsors or affiliates or that kind of thing, the monetization doesn't really matter, but you need to meet the criteria for the monetization, at least to show that you have a following for anybody to get really interested in you. So I think that all depends on what it is exactly that you're trying to accomplish. And I did a show a couple weeks ago related to how to make money with YouTube. So you might go back and take a look at that one. That might help you a little bit.
Okay. I got your answer here for ready for that.
Okay.
Okay. So here, if you want to push this into another language, so I'm on the old Creator Studio on the video. I've targeted one video, and then you're used to being here under basic info, you know, where you put your stuff in. Right. Click over to translations.
Uh-huh.
And then here is your English. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Well, this is just your title and description.
Right.
And then you can push it into another language, your title and description.
Okay.
I've never tinkered with this because you have to add a language. We'll add Spanish. And then you can type in.
Can you add multiples?
I've never gone this far, but this is not for closed captioning. This is for titles and descriptions.
Oh, honey, hang with me. I'll take you further than you've ever been.
Yeah. Now, remember I said, 80-20 rule? Like this is not going to yield 80% results. This is just going to tip the scale just a little bit. If you're fluent in another language, do it. Put it in. And I know I think there's services that'll do that for you as well. But I think that they'll do like $1 a minute. They'll close caption your stuff, and they may flip it in other languages too. At least your titles and descriptions. Wow, we've kind of went quite a while here. This is the bulk of what I wanted to show. It's the click-through rate and the watch time. And how do you get click-through rate and watch time? You nail the thumbnails and you nail the titles. Pay attention to the other stuff, but just know what I just said, that's the money. And go off-site and go get your viewers. Yes, people will find you on the platform. What's the platform? On the YouTube platform. But you got to go out and get those users. And then if you should I start a live show where I talk about YouTube news and review a channel and critique a channel live with a chat audience? Is that something I should do?
Sure.
Let me know in the chat room if you would be interested in a weekly show where I would summarize all of the YouTube news of the week and do some channel critiques and give good tips on growing your channel.
Jim Bashir says sure.
Okay.
I think that'd be a good idea.
I'll think about that. Subscribe to Awesome Wood Things and to keep
I know when some of these guys are supposed to be so famous, for bringing us this stuff, it gets so much over my head. They don't bring it down to the lack of technical expertise that I have. I need somebody that's going to lay it out in layman's terms that I can understand. So
hopefully I've done that. I've been in some sort of tech or support role my whole career. So I say I speak fluent geek to English translation. I can take the geek speak and I hopefully make it meaningful. I would watch anything you put on and give a thumbs up just because you're you, says Jim Dockrell. Thank you, Jim.
Paul's Messy Workshop says, is it worth going back and changing thumbnails and adding closed captions on older videos?
Well, here's the deal. It might be. The idea is if you change something, anything after you publish it, you know, YouTube and with its algorithms will be, you know, it might put you in a better position for search. It might put you in better position for suggested. You could reset all that. So if you tinker with your stuff after it's live, you could kind of reset the clock. So like you might be getting traction. The day you tinker with something, it could go down. Now it might start back up again. I tend to take the set it and forget it mentality. Once it's published, done. I'll go back and I'll analyze it, but I won't change anything. I try not to. You can, but
here's where that might be a little bit different, in at least as far as I'm thinking. If you don't know what you're doing and you put up a whole bunch of videos, you're just learning, and your thumbnails are awful. Your descriptions needed a lot of work, but you know, you were doing the best that you knew how to do at the time. And now you're finding out about Canva, and you're finding out about, oh, it needs to be a short title on it. Oh, my descriptions need to be a little bit better. And you think you can improve on all this because your views really were horrible when you put that thing up. It may have been up there, you know, 2 months, 6 months, a year, whatever. You think you can improve on it now? Could be the time that you need to change all that and get it back up there where people can see it.
It could be, you know, it just, if a video's not being popular and you go to change it, it might still not be popular after you change it. So, you know, it just depends on where you spend your energy. Yeah, go ahead and do that. But
nothing ventured, nothing gained.
that's true. You know,
if it's doing really well, I wouldn't mess with it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I just went and subbed to you, Matt Haas. Thank you. Who was that?
That's Sheila.
Sheila Davis. Thank you.
Sheila Daves.
Daves. Excellent. My middle name is Dave, singular. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Jim Dockrell says, I think that if you're new and need to do those changes, you need to re-edit the video and release it on its own. And yeah, there's a lot of truth in that as well. Because maybe if you didn't know what you was doing, you didn't make a very good video to begin with. So you kind of need to redo the whole thing.
Yeah. I tend not to delete stuff. I know that we haven't talked about that, but the thinking there is some audience, they like to go in and look at your old stuff and see your progression over time.
Right.
You know, keep it up.
I see no reason that somebody can't redo a video. Leave the old one up, but do the same thing you did, only better.
Yeah.
Edited better or filmed better, better camera, better audio on it. You know, if it was a decent video to begin with, but you can improve on that, redo the thing. Yeah, you don't have to take the old one down.
And, you know, if this is getting more into the content, but if someone else made a video about a topic that you want to make, still make the video. Because it's you. You're different. You, the host, are different. You know.
And Dana brought up a good point. She said you lose your views if you delete the video. So yes, if you take a video down, then YouTube deletes those views from your channel. So
do they? I thought they hung around phantom wise.
No, they remove the views if you take the videos down. Yeah.
Yep. YouTube. Who loves YouTube? If you think about it, you know, what did you have to do 15 years ago? You had to go to a television station and schmooze the director and prove that you've got a show. And then you had to cram it into 30 minutes or whatever, it was a huge pain to get eyeballs. Now, anyone with a smartphone can have an audience. All you got to do is be good. That's the hard part. If you're good, you've got a free platform. And video is the file format of video. It's very large. It takes a lot of money and time to push that out. I mean, they're 300 hours of video are being published every minute. Every minute, 300 hours of new content hits the service. It's mind-boggling how awesome that is, and the times we live in. And we've got this service that we can use for free and to get an audience, a worldwide audience. Television isn't where it's at anymore. Traditional media, I'm like, YouTube is where it's at. We've got the numbers. There is someone with a cell phone has 200,000 subscribers on, and just used cell phone the first 2 years of his channel, got up to 200,000 subscribers. No lighting, no audio equipment, no cell phone. It's the content,
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's an awesome place to learn to get better at whatever it is that you're trying to do.
You gotta love it. If you don't love it, don't do it.
Network with people that know how to do the things that you don't know how to do. If you don't know how to edit, find some people that know how to edit, talk to them, find out what they're using, how they do it, where they get their ideas from. If you don't know how to do the analytics and to figure out what these numbers mean, come to people like Matt. There's folks that know how to do these things that are on YouTube, and this is how we learn.
Yep. Grade A, under A. He used what's the cheapo Windows video app that's default? Movie Maker. Windows Movie Maker. He built an empire off of Windows Movie Maker, and he uses like a Galaxy Note 2 to capture his audio. Mm-hmm. Macs come with iTunes. It's free. Anyway. Have fun on YouTube. That's what I have for you, folks. I hope you found this helpful. Awesome with things. Give me a subscribe over there. Keep abreast of my new show that might be coming out around YouTube. I think I'm going to call it All Things YouTube. And I'll pick a day, maybe at Monday, the hour before this show, maybe between 7 and 8. Mondays between 7 and 8 Eastern. But we'll see. And facebook.com/awesomewoodthings. That's where I make all my announcements. So, and this is some of the crazy stuff I do, light up things and wall art for nurseries where you change the color of the little giraffes. And this thing here was my joke one. That's my 5th highest performing video. It's just a joke on how to improve the phone case, cutting boards, shadow boxes. Sorry, I like looking at my stuff.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I'd like to say hey to everybody that's out there in the chat room. I'm going to pull up the list of participants currently in there right now and say hey to everybody. We got Farmer Austin in the house. We got Groovy Blue 18 in the house. Jim Bashirs, Jim Dockrell, Live to Learn Dana, Odessa Woodworking and Maker Shop. That's Al.
I think we missed Dave Hart the first time.
Yeah.
Call him out.
Dave Hart. We got Paul's Messy Workshop. We got Ruby Slippers, Sheila Daves. The 4 Heart Ranch is out there in the chat. So I'd like to thank all of those people that are with us and the ones that was in here earlier as well. They may watch this back.
Odessa Woodworking and Maker Shop.
Mo Man is out there. Mel Bard of Kings County is out there. Katie Dodson. We had...
Simply Blues 18.
Yeah, Simply Wooden Creations was out there earlier. Say hey to him. Angel Menez is out there.
Ruby Slippers.
Yep, Ruby Slippers. Wrestler Mania is out there. Wrap my tongue around that. Exploring with CF.
The 4 Heart Scranch.
Mm-hmm. Fifi Militia Ann. So there's been an awful lot of people in there. I hope I didn't miss anybody. June Gall's in there right now. Say hey to her.
We love you all. You're all awesome.
That's right. Everybody.
And the ones we didn't say, we love you more.
That's right. If I missed you, I'm sorry, but I love you nonetheless. Yeah. So it's great to have you. And thank you very much, Matt. I appreciate your help. And I'm sorry we had all that issue a couple weeks ago with the technical thing.
Don't bring that up. That's in the past. We had fun. I love being on the BrendaG's design show.
So we thank everybody. Now, I will remind you all that Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to try to do my live stream as long as, technical issues don't mess me up. But that's my birthday.
Ooh.
I will have completed another trip around the sun. So I hope
you're 29
again. So I hope everybody will drop in to celebrate my birthday with me on Monday. But that's the major plan. God willing, I'll be here on Monday to celebrate my birthday. So with all that being said, there's only one thing left to say, and that's Brenda's crafty. Be like Brenda. Night, y'all.
Good night.